joining us on today's episode of Keeping Up with the Prophets, the only place to get up-to-date news about Yahweh's prophets and the news they bring us from the big deity upstairs. On this show, we bring prophets out of the past and into today, literally. I'm Agatha Eberhart, and I'm your host for this show. Today, I'm excited to bring to you all a very special prophet who is intense and who tells it like it is. Our very own Zephaniah, right out of the late 7th century. Yay! So Zephaniah, blast in from the past! Hello!
Whoa. Little Dizzy, hello. Thank you for having me.
Always.
This is really important because the Lord is going to utterly sweep away everything from the face of the earth, and we need to talk about it.
Wow, okay, well, yeah, I see you're a heavy hitter right out of the tunnel. I'm glad you're not wasting any time getting to that punchline.
We don't have time to waste. The Lord is going to sweep away humans and animals. The birds of the air, the fish of the sea.
Oh my
all
goodness.
of this will be gone. We will be gone.
Ah! Okay, well, I'm glad you wrote it all down and that you're here to tell us more about it. So, I have here in my hand the manuscript of the book that just came out. I see it only has 3 chapters. Did you forget about everything that Yahweh told you, and so you just wrote down what you remember? Or was Yahweh super brief this time?
The message of God seems pretty clear. It's not like the message of God needs a lot of words to make the point.
True.
But also, it was a speech. Do you want to listen to a 30-page speech, Agatha?
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was trying to be considerate here because my therapist keeps telling me to be.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, that's awesome. I also noticed that the book is named after yourself. Don't you think that's a little self-centered?
What, so the Lord's word about how you're all going to die is so much better?
True. Okay, point taken. But don't you think this might feed into what your critics all say, that you have a prophet's complex?
Oh, please. All my critics are running around trying to hear the Lord's word. But I don't care, because I have, and the Lord is telling me that we're all going to be wiped away. The people should know that it came from me.
True, that's a valid point. And there are multiple prophets in your time, correct?
Yeah, way too many. That should definitely wipe them all away.
Well, okay then. So, if there are multiple prophets, are there multiple gods as well?
Interesting question, Agatha. Why do you ask?
Well, in chapter 2, verse 11, it seems that you are lifting up henotheism, the acknowledgement that there are multiple gods, but you only worship one of the gods, you know.
It's hard, Agatha, to argue for one almighty and powerful God when so many people believe in so many other ones. However, once Yahweh has shriveled all the gods of the earth, then I can be a monotheist like yourself, which I think is what you're trying to get at.
Okay, I suppose I might have been, but anyway, can you tell us more about who chose, or how you chose to write about what Yahweh has told you?
Okay, yeah, so the judgment that God gave me was supposed to be more sweeping than the flood God sent in Noah's time. For instance, in chapter 1, verse 3, right here, God told me, and so I wrote it down, that God would remove the stumbling blocks along with the wicked. However, my translation editor told me that it was too intense and wouldn't publish my speech without changing it to say only that God would make the wicked stumble. Rude. That's totally a different message than God gave me.
Yeah, I can see that difference in manuscripts. I can see that. So this message that God gave you, what is the ultimate message being sent to your audience?
Well, I said that God would be silent in his revenge, so the violence would end, but the fan fiction writers have tried to create this more intimate relationship between God and God's people, and that's resulted in mixed messages about what God will ultimately do. Some of these fan fiction writers may have taken my message and twisted it to mean that God will renew God's people. Others have said that God will make them be silent despite the violence. So really, it depends on what manuscript you pick up and how authentic to my conversation with God it is.
Fascinating. Thank you for that very thorough explanation. So, speaking of authenticity, I see that you cite Hosea, Isaiah, and Cyprian. Why do you cite them?
creation is polluted and it needs to be cleansed. Those three people already laid the groundwork for my argument, so why should I not use them, Agatha? Have you ever written a book? I mean, seriously, human beings are exploiting nature, and God hates that so much that God is thinking about taking away God's promise that was given to Noah after the flood. That was supposed to be eternal. Agatha, don't you know that? This is serious. Humans need to work on their relationship with God and God's creation, otherwise God will destroy us all.
Okay.
This will be destroyed, and that over there, those trees, they're gonna go, and the grass, it's gonna be completely mowed down, but not like you would normally mow. God's gonna just scorch.
Scorch!
And the bird over there, yeah, that one's gonna go too. It'll just fall right out of the sky. And then the fish over there, you're gonna boil in the water that will then dry out. It's gonna be awful. Everything's gonna be bad. God's gonna just destroy everything. Everything will be in ruins. Think you want to drink some water? Think again. It'll be gone. There will be no water. These snowbells, they're gonna be gone. God's just gonna destroy them. They're gonna burn. Same thing with this tall grass and the clover down here. Gone. Totally gone. The blackberry vine. Burned. Scorched. Totally destroyed.
How about we talk about a lighter topic then, okay? So, Zeph. Can I call you Zeph?
Okay.
Okay, Zeph. I noticed that you list a lot of family members at the beginning of your book. What do those family connections mean to you?
Well, Agatha, I'm a powerful person from a long lineage of powerful men of God. Not everyone can speak during the time of King Josiah, but the great-great-grandson of Hezekiah, Yahweh's servant, sure can.
That's so cool. That you came blasting all the way from the past from a long lineage of powerful people. Do you think that your lineage power and connection to Yahweh could apply to people like of my time, not just to people of your time?
I mean, if God doesn't bring such distress upon the people in my time that they shall walk like the blind because they've sinned against the Lord, then I guess these words for the Lord could be applied to priests that support and lift up idols similar to Baal in my time, or to the people who are complacent and don't believe that God has any say in blessing or judgment. Their wealth shall be plundered and their houses laid waste. Though they build houses, they shall not inhabit them. Though they plant vineyards, they shall not drink wine from them.
Wow. Thank you for that super vague explanation of how God might speak to the people of my time. On that note, I think it might be time to send you blasting back to your time. Thank you for coming here from the 7th century Zephaniah and speaking to the people of the 21st century. Thanks for joining us today.